It was a calm October night across Russia's western heartland, until the horizon lit up like dawn. The sky, once still, roared alive with streaks of light racing low across the fields. Seconds later, a blinding explosion shattered the silence. A Ukrainian drone strike had hit one of Russia's largest oil refineries, hundreds of kilometers from the border. Flames spiraled into the sky, painting the night orange and black, their reflection dancing on nearby rivers. This wasn't just another attack. This was psychological warfare, executed with precision. The refinery supplied not just fuel, but confidence, the illusion that Russia's core was untouchable. Yet in that moment, everything changed. The unthinkable had happened. Ukraine's drones had pierced deep into what Moscow once called impenetrable territory. Russian state media rushed to contain panic. Officials blamed foreign interference. But global intelligence networks saw something far more complex, a calculated Ukrainian escalation designed not for destruction, but for symbolism. This was a message. Russia's geography could no longer protect it. Across encrypted military channels, confusion spread. How did Ukraine bypass multi-layered S-400 systems? Were these drones aided by Western tech, or had Moscow's overconfidence blinded it to its weakest spots? Tonight, we'll break down exactly how this operation unfolded, the secret intelligence behind it, the shockwaves it sent through Russia's defense doctrine, and what it reveals about the new age of drone warfare. Because what happened over that refinery wasn't just an explosion, it was the ignition of a new era, where machines rewrite military strategy and where no nation's airspace is truly safe. Long before the flames rose, Ukraine's intelligence agencies had been watching. Using a mix of Western satellite data, intercepted communications, and their own reconnaissance drones, they mapped a pattern, a steady flow of fuel shipments moving from central Russia toward the front lines in the Donbass and Crimea. Every drop of that fuel powered tanks, missile carriers, and warplanes. The refinery near Ryazan wasn't just an industrial plant, it was a lifeline. Russia had spent decades fortifying its perimeters, air defense rings, radar zones, electronic jamming systems. Yet, deep inside, it had grown complacent. Facilities like Ryazan were considered untouchable, too far for traditional missiles and too well guarded for sabotage. But modern warfare isn't about distance, it's about data and adaptability. Ukraine's military planners understood that striking the right node could cripple an entire network. So when they received intelligence that the refinery's radar coverage had blind spots during maintenance rotations, they began planning Operation Ember. It wasn't just about destroying infrastructure, it was about collapsing morale, forcing Russia to defend everything and everywhere. And that's exactly what they achieved. As the world watched, unaware, Ukraine prepared for one of its most ambitious long-range strikes yet. A mission that would travel over 800 kilometers into Russian airspace, evading detection every step of the way. This wasn't a random strike. Ukraine's weapon of choice was the UJ-26 Beaver, a long-range drone modified for precision strikes. Lightweight, low-flying, and nearly invisible to radar, it carried a 75-kilogram warhead, small but deadly when guided with pinpoint accuracy. Each drone followed a preloaded GPS path, weaving through valleys and forest lines to evade radar. Their flight pattern wasn't straight, it was unpredictable, a deliberate tactic to confuse automated defenses. Russian radar operators were overwhelmed by false readings. Some thought it was electronic interference. By the time they realized the threat was real, it was too late. The refinery's core distillation tower was hit, triggering a chain of explosions that spread across the fuel reservoirs. This wasn't brute force, it was algorithmic warfare. Artificial intelligence determined routes, altitudes, and timing. Ukraine's engineers had turned inexpensive consumer-grade technology into precision strike platforms. Military analysts now say that these drones represent the future of asymmetric warfare, where software, not size, determines power. The attack proved that information supremacy can outweigh traditional firepower. As the smoke cleared, the Kremlin wasn't just facing physical loss, it was facing humiliation, a sign that its vast territory was no longer an advantage, but a vulnerability. The aftermath was seismic. Satellite images revealed an entire section of the refinery destroyed, output down by nearly 60%. Russian fuel exports stalled for days, and the Ministry of Defense scrambled to secure other critical sites. But the true impact was psychological. For decades, Moscow's doctrine of strategic depth promised safety through distance, that no enemy could reach the Russian core. This strike shattered that illusion. If drones could reach Ryazan, they could reach anywhere, even Moscow. Civilians near the strike zone filmed the explosions on their phones. Those clips flooded Telegram and Western media, eroding the Kremlin's narrative of control. Panic spread through Russia's elite circles. Oligarchs questioned their safety. Investors quietly began withdrawing capital. And in Ukraine, morale surged. The operation wasn't just revenge, it was proof that intelligence, innovation, and courage could overpower size and fear. Military historians will one day mark this as a turning point, when geography lost its meaning and precision replaced power. In the days that followed, Russia launched waves of retaliation, targeting Ukrainian infrastructure with missiles and Shahed drones. But these counterstrikes missed the strategic mark. The real war was now technological, fought in silence across satellites, cyber networks, and encrypted frequencies. Western analysts suggested that Ukraine had used AI-assisted flight algorithms shared by private tech firms, allowing drones to adapt mid-flight when GPS signals were jammed. Russian defense experts, meanwhile, accused NATO of direct coordination. Both sides began racing toward the next evolution: swarm warfare. Dozens, even hundreds of autonomous drones that could overwhelm radar and interceptors through sheer volume and intelligence. The Ryazan strike was just the beginning, a signal that the age of state-controlled warfare had ended. The new arms race would not be fought with tanks, but with code. And deep inside both Kiev and Moscow, engineers and hackers now work in secret, building the next generation of invisible weapons. The refinery strike was more than a military operation, it was a prophecy. It signaled the death of distance, the end of geography as a shield. In this new era, the front lines are invisible, drawn not in trenches, but in data lines. Russia's military planners are now trapped between defending thousands of kilometers of sky or focusing on collapsing fronts. Ukraine, on the other hand, has redefined warfare, proving that creativity and precision can outweigh even nuclear power. Every explosion that lights up the Russian skyline now echoes a single truth: safety is an illusion. The world is entering a phase where anyone, anywhere, can be reached, not by soldiers, but by algorithms and drones the size of a suitcase. As global powers watch and learn, the question remains: if this is the future of warfare, who will control it? And more importantly, can anyone truly stay safe?